If you're thinking about buying a condo in Toronto, most of what you'll find online is either a price chart or a panic headline. Neither one actually tells you what to check before you sign anything. So this video is different. This is the actual walkthrough, what to look at, what questions to ask, and what mistakes trip up first-time buyers in this city specifically. We'll get to where prices stand later, because that context matters too. But let's start with the part that actually protects your money. Before anything else, you need to decide which kind of condo you're even looking at, because they work completely differently. Resale means the building already exists. You walk through the actual unit, you see the actual view, and you pay today's price for it. Pre-construction means you're buying off a floor plan, years before the building is even built, and you're paying a price the developer sets today for a building that won't be ready until sometime later. Here's why this decision comes first before you even start touring units. With pre-construction, your purchase price is locked in at signing, but the value of the finished unit isn't locked in at all. It floats with the market between now and closing day. If prices move against you in that window, you can end up owing more than the unit is worth the day you close, and your mortgage lender will only lend against what the unit actually appraises for, not what you agreed to pay years earlier. That gap has to come out of your own pocket. Resale doesn't have that risk. You're financing against a price that reflects today's market, not a projection from years ago. For most first-time buyers, resale is the simpler and lower-risk starting point. Pre-construction can still make sense if you understand the contract terms, the builder's track record, and what your options are if the appraisal comes in low. But go in with your eyes open. If you take one thing from this video, take this one. Every existing condo in Ontario comes with a status certificate, and it is the single most important piece of paper in the entire purchase. The status certificate tells you the building's reserve fund balance, that's the pool of money the condo corporation keeps for major repairs like a new roof, elevator replacement, or garage waterproofing. It tells you whether there are any pending lawsuits involving the building. It tells you if a special assessment is coming, which is basically a surprise bill split among all the owners to cover a repair the reserve fund can't afford, and it shows you the maintenance fee history. Don't just glance at this document. Get a real estate lawyer to review it before your conditions expire. A building with a healthy reserve fund and no pending assessments is a very different purchase than one that looks fine on the surface but has a $5,000 or $10,000 bill about to land on every owner. Every listing shows you the current monthly maintenance fee. What it doesn't show you is how that number got there. Ask for the fee history over the past 3 to 5 years. If a building's fees have climbed 30% in 5 years, that tells you something is going on. Aging mechanical systems, rising insurance costs, or a reserve fund that's been playing catch-up. A building with fees that have stayed flat or risen only modestly with inflation is generally in healthier shape. Also ask what the fee actually covers. Some buildings include heat, water, and internet in the fee. Others charge extra for those separately. 2 units with the same listed fee can have very different real monthly costs once you know what's bundled in. 2 things that don't get talked about enough: building insurance and who actually lives there. Condo corporation insurance premiums have been rising across Ontario, and in a lot of buildings that cost gets folded straight into the maintenance fee. It's worth asking the property manager directly how much the building's insurance premium has changed recently, because it's often the quiet driver behind a fee increase. The other thing to ask about is the mix of owner-occupied units versus investor-owned rental units in the building. A building with a high share of investor-owned units can behave differently when the market softens. More units hit the market for sale at the same time, which can mean more competition and softer pricing within that specific building, even if the broader area is holding steady. Your down payment isn't the only cash you need on closing day. In Toronto, you pay both a provincial land transfer tax and a municipal land transfer tax. On a typical condo purchase in this city, that combination can add up to somewhere around $20,000 before any first-time buyer rebates. A lot of buyers budget their down payment carefully and completely forget this exists until their lawyer sends the final closing statement.
There's also the cost of a home inspection or pre-purchase review for the unit itself, legal fees, and if you're buying pre-construction, development levies that can be thousands of dollars on top of your purchase price. Make sure that's addressed in the contract before you sign. And get your mortgage pre-approval refreshed close to when you're actually shopping. Rates and lending conditions shift, and a pre-approval from several months back may not reflect what you actually qualify for today. Now that you know what to check, here's the market context, because it does affect your negotiating position. As of early August, the average condo apartment in Toronto is selling for around $636,000, down about 2.3% from a year ago. That's a much smaller drop than detached homes have seen. Those are down over 5% from just the month before and nearly 10% from a year ago in some measures. Condos have actually been the most stable property type in the city through this downturn. The GTA currently has around 26,000 active listings and roughly 4.5 months of supply. That's a more balanced market than the extreme seller's conditions of a few years ago, but it's not a steep discount either. The average sale-to-list ratio is still sitting around 97%, meaning most sellers are getting close to their asking price, not slashing it. Part of why condos softened at all comes down to timing. A wave of new construction hit completion right as mortgage rates climbed through 2022 to 2024, which cooled demand at the same time supply increased. That's now correcting itself. Combined pre-construction and under-construction inventory has dropped 37% year over year, and there were 0 new project launches in the second quarter of this year. Fewer new towers being announced now means less competition for existing units a few years down the line. Rents are worth knowing too. Toronto condo and apartment rents actually rose 1.6% from June to July and are down just 0.6% year over year, the smallest annual decline of any major Canadian market. If you're weighing renting against buying, that gap has narrowed compared to a couple years back. So if you're buying a Toronto condo, here's the short version. Decide resale versus pre-construction first and understand the risk difference. Read the status certificate, or better, have a lawyer read it. Check the maintenance fee trend, not just the current number. Ask about insurance and the owner-occupied ratio. Budget for land transfer tax and closing costs on top of your down payment, and keep your mortgage pre-approval current. Do that, and you're buying with your eyes open in a market that's actually more stable than the headlines make it sound. If there's a specific building or neighborhood you want broken down next, drop it in the comments.